I was trying to figure out my life's purpose in my late 20s and early 30s. I wanted to use my gifts and talents to inspire and help people, and there were a lot of opportunities to do so, but I was afraid to make a choice out of fear that I would step out of God's will. I wanted to hear directly from God before making decisions. So I was always confused as to whether I was hearing from God or not. And I would just pass up opportunities out of fear of God's reproach. I passed up a scholarship for a master's degree in counseling. I passed up job opportunities, opportunities to travel to different states and countries, opportunities to meet new people. And this was all because I was waiting on God. I was actually in a state of stagnation and paralysis because I was afraid that if I got out of God's will and didn't wait on God, that I would be punished for making a decision that didn't meet God's approval. I wanted desperately for God to speak to me and tell me what to do, but I wasn't sure how to recognize when He was speaking to me. So I was afraid to move at all. I'm Ivory, your new favorite female comedic science coach, and I have a question. Are you waiting on God, or is God waiting on you? I know you've probably heard warnings about waiting on God before pursuing your goals, but what if I told you that God is waiting on you when it comes to your goals and dreams and vision? What if I said that there is not just one path that is chosen by God for you, but that there are limitless possibilities and the choice is really up to you? The fear I had came from toxic Christian teaching that said you need to stay in your place and not get out of God's will because you can abort God's will for you. So you need to hear directly from God before making any decisions because you will bring God's reproach and not be blessed if you make a decision that is outside of His will. Comedic science helped me realize that this was toxic, erroneous Christian teaching that was hindering my growth. The idea that I needed to wait on God or be careful not to get out of His will was toxic because it suggested that one, God has one specific plan and I can only follow that path. Two, I had to figure out what that plan was. And three, if I didn't follow that path, then I would be punished. So this put me in a state of fear and anxiety because I was trying to figure out what God wants me to do. But how did I know what that God in the sky wanted me to do? If I pray and ask Him, how do I know when I get an answer? Waiting on an answer from God and not being able to hear from Him made me feel that something was wrong with me. I was wondering, why can't I hear from God like other people do? And this was scary because I feared what would happen if I never figured out what God's will was for my life. I believed that if I made a wrong decision, that I would stray away from His will and be punished. I experienced a complete paradigm shift when I began to study comedic science. I discovered that my goals, dreams, and visions were inspired by God. I didn't need to wait on God because God was waiting on me to act. I discovered my authentic identity and purpose and awakened the goddess within through what I call the goddess power principles, which are rooted in comedic science. I now live in peace, freedom, and gratitude. I let go of the lies and fear, and I look forward to each day. Now you can learn these powerful transformative principles too. If you want help overcoming challenges such as depression, anxiety, shame, low self-esteem, confusion, or stagnation that are caused by toxic Christian programming, then contact me at comediccoaching@gmail.com. Some of the things that I will teach you include how to develop your authentic identity and purpose, how to unleash the goddess within, how to find your voice, how to manifest the life that you have always dreamed of, and more. Peace and love.